Grammy Award-winning artist Jacob Collier has made an innovation with his 5-string guitar. You shouldn't miss out on playing one. Luckily, you don't need to go out and buy a 5-string. You can just tune your guitar at home. Hi, I'm Ben Brown. I've had 20 years with this instrument, and Jacob Collier made it all new again. Let's get started. Ready, set, tune. First thing, we're gonna take these E's. We're gonna drop them down to D. You can actually use that D as a reference. The E. A is going to stay the same, and we're actually going to take this G, tune it up to an A. We're going to take this B, tune it down to the exact same A. You can use this A as a reference, of course. I got all A's there. And then this D from before, we're going to raise that up to an E. There you have it. That is the 5-string guitar. Voila! The part that makes it a 5-string is the doubling up with those A's. And so they sort of blend in to become the 5 strings. And there you go. Jacob Collier's actual 5-string would look something more like this, but we've simulated it by merging these 2 strings together to get a 5-string configuration. So yeah, there you go. Boom. That's how you tune that guitar. So here's the thing, how the guitar works is something that excites me. And what I'm about to show you about Jacob Collier's 5-string guitar is going to be a pretty advanced topic. You might not be advanced. In fact, you might not even consider yourself an intermediate guitar player, which is actually really common. A lot of people after beginner guitar get stuck in what I like to call the post-beginner plateau. There's actually not a lot of information about what to do right after this. And so that's why I've created Beyond Beginner Guitar, 4 hours of video that goes really heavy on theory to help people regain momentum again, overcome this post-beginner plateau, and enrich their life with guitar. To get into Beyond Beginner Guitar, down below in the description, there will be a link where you can join the wait list. So let's come back over here and get to understand the landscape. In retuning the guitar, we just did tectonic shifts when it comes to the shapes and patterns that you're going to play and see on the guitar. So let's get our bearing, let's understand the landscape. First thing is, if you stick with the open strings, you got D, A, E, A, D. It's important to understand the relationship between each of the strings. D to A is a perfect fifth. A to E is a perfect fifth. E to A is going to be the flip side of that, perfect fourth. And A to D is a perfect fourth. A really kind of like lovely symmetrical thing going on. 2 perfect fifths for the bottom 3, 2 perfect fourths for the top 3 in quotes, right? We've got our double A here. The quickest way you're going to get a visceral feeling for this is going to probably be the power chord. Good old power chord. In standard tuning, you're looking for that sucker. No longer the case. We learned that from D to A is a perfect fifth. This is now your new perfect fifth. If you want to find the octave, it's actually going to be dropped down here. Your new power chord is this shape now. A little bit different. So it's the power chord. What about a simple little triad? Root here, perfect fifth can go here. And now let's look for a major third. The thing to know about perfect fifths is if you stacked a perfect fifth on a perfect fifth, that sucker becomes a second to the root. So this note here would be a second, which is to say this chord would be considered an F sus2 chord. But let's go back to building the triad. We've got the root, fifth, pretty dang easy. Second would be here, but instead we'll play the third up here. This is your new triad shape. You You got your major triad. This is exactly what you're playing. When you slide that sucker back and you put one finger on, you just got yourself the D major chord. This is the 1/3 in it, and then the rest of it you get perfect fifths, and you got the roots. If we're just thinking about the low 3 strings, one of the things that's really pretty awesome about it is being able to vamp on a 1 chord D, D6, D, major 7. It's actually pretty comfortable to kind of dance around adding the 6th note, adding the major 7 here, and then just kind of dropping it back and forth. Sweet. That's perfect fifth world in those bottom 3 strings. Let's check out the top 3 strings, I say in quotes, because we do have this doubling. And these are separated by perfect fourths. That means you're actually going to see some really familiar shapes. Let's take the power chord. There is going to be a little bit of an issue with understanding these A's, but here, boom, boom, boom. This will give you a power chord. Now it is a little bit funky, but if I was to do something like this, combine those 2 strings together into 1 mega string, you'd end up seeing it's just a power chord, just like you're totally used to. In fact, you can pick and choose which string you choose to play it on, but essentially it is the same power chord shape that you're familiar with. Probably more useful than the power chord. Let's check out a triad. It's quite standard. You have your root, your 3rd here, which could be here, and then you play your 5th. This open D is your 5th. And so that is a triad. So knowing that shape, you can play triads up and down the neck. That was a 4 chord, this being the 5. And here we go with the 6th. Six, 5, 4. Not to mention ending it on a D. Not so scary, is it? Let's take a look at this chord moved up into like a bar formation. You get things like this. So here you've got your major bar chord, root, perfect 5th. Your major 3rd is on this string. You got your perfect 5ths and your root again. Nice, simple little major chord. Again, one of the things I like about it is the ability to augment it and get yourself a 6 or major 7. We can drop this down, get ourselves A minor. This shape, that like simple major triad, not only is this giving you a D6, but guess what? Because there's a symmetry running down the guitar this way, this is also a 6. So here's another way of getting your D6. So I find it fun to like straddle both sides of this major 3rd. Play a 6 here, raise it up to a major 7, drop it back down, just bring it all open again. I think that's really fun. It's a cool way of doing things. One of the chords that I like is to bring this note up to the 4, bring that up to the G, play that as the root. We've got the 3rd here. We can play that open to get the G triad, actually more of like a G add 2. I'll double up here where I can do it again and keep that D going. So then I have like a G add 2 over D, and I find that really attractive for a 4 chord. Go minor with it. All right. The A being like the 5 of the G a lot of times. So I can have the root open here. This guy is going to be the perfect 5th. So I'll also leave him open. If I want to get that C sharp, A, C sharp, E is going to make up a A5 chord. A lot of times I'll leave this open, making it a add 4. Even with that, like an over D. Those are kind of my go-tos, or at least for like a open 1-4-5 that I think are fun. So that's a quick little overview of the landscape we've got going on here. What's the new frontier here? What is exciting about this? What are some of the things that I couldn't do on a regularly tuned guitar that I can do on this? The thing that I think is the coolest is when you pick it up. You get yourself a D-sus2. You just can't understate how cool it is to be able to pick up a guitar, strum it, and it sounds good. The instant gratification, just like, woof. It's like, it doesn't matter what your skill is, you pick up that guitar and it sounds good. I think that's a big deal. On top of that too, like, I think there's a huge advantage that the first chord is just a single finger. There's so many dumb guitar gadgets that you put a contraption on your guitar and, oh, you can play with just one finger. Guess what? A little bit of know-how. You can play with one finger. I love it. Yeah, at this point, I think that I would introduce somebody to guitar with this in mind. This new frontier, besides what Jacob Collier has given us, is actually this doubling. When I first started messing around with tuning the sixth string this way, I kind of thought it was a little bit of like a cope. It would be better to just clip one of those strings and get it out of the way. But now I've grown to love that it's there. So I'm going to give a little bit of a justification for how neat it is to have double strings. And there's two unique things that you can do about it. One, you can achieve that chorusy doubling string effect that a mandolin has. I think that's really cool for solos. I think that's cool to like get into and explore. The second thing you can do is play two notes that exist really close to each other without having to pull some kind of ligament in your fingers. Let me give you an example. Let's play what I was calling the fifth. We have the root, the thirds, and you got your fifth. This shape here. Well, you can grab this sucker here, slide him back. I said this was an A. Now you got an A, add 2, and you didn't have to do anything really crazy to get there. Here's another example. Keep that third. Now try to play this. You can even let this open string ring out. That is something that is absolutely unique. You definitely can't play notes that are this close to each other easily. It's not just a matter of sliding it over like that. I think that's a really cool chord, really only achievable by having this configuration. And that gives you an ability to make these cluster chords. This is like the one thing I get a little bit jealous about piano for, is that they can actually play notes that are super close to each other. And while it does add a lot of dissonance, playing all these notes together is like a neat thing that the piano gets to do because it has all the notes laid out in front of it, where the guitar only has 6 choices. Everything is like too spaced out to get something like a major second separation. In this distance is a flat 2, just a half step apart. Actually, I want to show that in a minor context. Get ourselves a B minor going. Root, minor, perfect fifth. We can do the minor third again, or we can play that 4 like I enjoy, sounding like. Come on, that's awesome. I quite enjoy the Jacob Collier 5-string. I want to see more people check it out. Let me remind you, there is that guitar course, Beyond Beginner Guitar, and you can join the wait list in that link down in the description. That's the end of the video. Since you've made it to the end, I recommend that you go and watch Overcoming the Post-Beginner Plateau and learn the 3 things you'll need to regain momentum. It's essentially the 3 guiding directions that Beyond Beginner Guitar is based off of. If you want, you can let YouTube know that you like guitar videos by hitting the like button, but I am going to make a request that you do not subscribe. Do not subscribe unless you enjoy me, Ben Brown, and would like to see any kind of video I put out. Only subscribe if you're all in on the Ben Brown show. Well, it's been a pleasure. Go and enjoy that 5-string. I'll see you in that next video that you watch. Okay, bye. Let's get you tuned back. We're going to use E to tune up these Ds back into E land. right? A is fine as is. Let's drop an E back down to D. And now you can do the standard tuning. So I'm going to do the harmonic thing where you hit a harmonic here on the 5th fret and a harmonic on the 7th fret. And you get those to match. 5th fret, 7th fret. Oh, this guy. There we go. Now I got my D, and then I'm going to do it again here so that I can tune this A down to G. Got it. And then this A needs to come up to B. And the way I'm going to do that is just, I'll play this, A, B flat, B, and I'll tune it up to match. I'm going to play this E and B until I get that perfect 5th relationship going. There we go. We got it back on track. Oh, let me show you what it would take to play an E in the exact same way as the single note version, but we're going to do it in standard tuning where it's all perfect 4ths. Perfect 5th, we're going to get the 3rd all the way up here, and then we can get the 5th again here, and there's doubling here, and then I think, yeah, that E is fine. This is the chord that you're achieving with one finger. And it's like my wrist is already hurting. Okay, bye.